So before this boss fight, which some people consider the toughest, also no Solaire, so
Oh,
that's kind of disappointing. We actually have a ton of souls, so it's a good time to level up.
yes.
And for this, I just kind of want to get another 2-minute slot. But for this boss, you should really upgrade endurance, like crazy. And then I'd say vitality, just because you need a lot of life, and then strength, like to get your weapons up. But endurance is the biggest thing, and I don't have any, which is really stupid. But I'm pretty confident that like my armor will tank me through it. So we just need to deal with these guys really quick.
Should be an interesting boss battle.
But if you're like me and you know way too much about this game, there's actually a shortcut to get through there, and you can see the texture for the stairs did not load in. You can see the cliff behind it. You can actually jump down, and really as soon as you land it realizes you're in this area and the stairs come back. But that room we passed up was hiding this monster. And actually, much unlike the ones we've already faced, this guy has a ton of health.
He's pretty difficult.
I'd say he's difficult more in the fact that this fight can take a while.
And he also likes to get himself in a really awkward corner.
Yeah, these guys are definitely better in wide open spaces, because that attack is a nightmare.
Yeah.
And even if like the amount of stamina that I have is way too low, and he can take out a ton of my health, and somehow I avoided all 3 of those attacks.
That was pretty good.
No, that was pretty scary.
Little both.
He gives me 2 Demon Titanite.
Reasonable.
He does not respawn though. I don't know what those carpets, tapestries on the wall were.
Altar to him.
It was an altar, like the only cathedral-looking part of the cathedral we just wrecked the shit out of.
All those pews.
So there's a couple of things that I want to get that I passed up in the last video before we actually go and fight the boss. One of them is the bow that the archers around here actually use. It's hidden out here past another broken window. And kind of a ridiculous jump because you need to get past that fence area. And I didn't do that, so...
Oh no.
You meant to jump there.
Hello,
I
friends.
didn't jump there. So I think that we will just fast forward back up there.
Probably for the best.
Now this time, I'm actually going to jump.
It's important.
And this is one of the things that in Dark Souls 2 they fixed, even though it still feels awkward, but run and jump in the sequel to this are not the same button. And that's what sort of makes this hard, is you have to hold B for one of them, and then you press it for jump. And that's a lot of demons down there.
It's one less demon.
I'm pretty sure I just pulled these guys when I fell before and then had to deal with them.
They were just at the ready. Fun times.
Oh, it's going to be. This is definitely a boss I recommend summoning on, because wow, are you going to get fucked over the first time.
So bad.
But there is one more thing I want to show off, and that's if you keep dying to this boss and you don't want to face these giants over and over, just run past them.
Yep.
Always check your back, because that first one will catch up to you, and he can hit you through this boss gate, so be careful. So this is a boss fight that introduces 2 bosses at once, and is really hard, and I hate it. except I kind of like it.
They're a fun duo.
This is, if you do this boss fight solo, it's totally doable, but you really need to be careful and take your time, because facing both of these bosses being reckless will get you killed incredibly quickly. But I'm actually trying to take care of Smoo here first, but he is not helping.
No.
Basically what I want to do is I want Ornstein to be on the other side of Smoo and have Smoo come charging at me, because it is the only way to get them separated. And Ornstein is having fun back there.
And Smoo's just giggling.
So basically these two guys have, so they sort of have their own element to them. Smoo is supposed to be fire, even though he doesn't have any fire attacks. And Ornstein is lightning. And the reason I say that Smoo has fire is because if you take the elements of each boss and swap them, that's actually their weaknesses. So Smoo will die incredibly quickly to lightning and Ornstein to fire. And it's also a huge pain in the ass.
Yep.
The fact that Ornstein will charge you out of nowhere makes this boss fight very, very tedious.
Especially since he likes to blindside you a lot.
And that is why, that is the only reason I kindle that bonfire, is you need all the healing items you can get here.
Oh yeah.
If you need to use humanity, you are in trouble, because they are single use.
They are also much longer to use.
Not necessarily, but it definitely feels that way. I am hoping so hard that Ornstein is not about to attack me. Right now, he's stuck on the other side of that pillar because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Except there he is.
He likes to prove you wrong.
The scary thing about that charge is if you're not near him, like he needs to go around a pillar to get to you, sometimes he will cancel that charge, mid-charge, and then attack you normally. And it is the scariest fucking thing.
And sometimes when he misses you, he charges again.
Oh yeah, he can not infinitely charge, but wow. Smoo's charge is scarier if you're up close like that. So the first phase of this boss fight is hard, I'd say, because there are two bosses. The second part of this fight can be either incredibly easy or ridiculously hard. And that is, if you kill Ornstein first, you have to fight Super Smoo. And Super Smoo is really, really easy. Like, has the easiest moves to telegraph, and doesn't throw lightning all over the place, and doesn't charge at you at lightning speed. But Super Ornstein is a lot harder, especially just attacking him, because he likes to jump around. And he's just a huge dick, overall.
He really is.
There are two reasons, actually three, of defeating each boss. The first is that the boss you beat last is the soul that you get, so you can get like Smoo's hammer or Ornstein's spear. Or later on, the last boss that you kill in this fight, you can actually buy their armor, which is pretty sweet. And I like Ornstein's armor a lot more.
He does have nice armor.
Except you don't get the red tassel, which kind of sucks.
It's a shame.
It's really the only reason to have that armor.
Pretty much.
But the third reason is Ornstein, I think, maybe 100% of the time will drop his ring, actually.
Oh.
And that's good for thrusting weapons. It kind of increases their damage.
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Sure.
But really, if you just take your time or you have a good ranged attack, you can slowly chip away at both of these guys' health.
If you would stop the sitting attack.
Just, yeah, for like a second. But I think the worst part about this fight is that no matter how much health the boss that you're not killing takes during the first part of the fight, they fully heal. Which is really dickish.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a way of getting around the problem of what if you kill both bosses at once. And I've actually had that happen before. Like, for the first round, when you just use one attack to kill both of them. I think it just randomly picks which boss you fight second.
No, good. So you either get super easy or super hard.
Pretty much. And if you invite Solaire to this fight, he will usually make it to the second round, but you need to be careful of who he attacks first. But yeah, these guys are dicks, and they deserve all of this.
That fight can be so hard.
That fight can take a very long time. I think the first couple times I ever fought them and didn't really have a strategy, it took like 20-25 minutes.
Yeah.
But I like how they have a little thin door for Ornstein and a fat, giant hallway for Smoo. And for the longest time, I thought Smoo was a woman, too. Because every time he jumps up, he giggles like a woman.
Yeah. It's just, you don't know.
But that's our hardest, in my opinion, our hardest boss fight down.
Yes, and thankfully the nightmare is over. For now.
So this is the only resident of this whole cathedral. And she is gigantic, so this is the only piece of furniture she gets.
She ain't fitting on those beds.
She barely fits on this couch, whatever it is.
Lounge.
How did they get that couch in here anyway?
Piece by piece.
They just build it around her?
Mm-hmm.
Daughter of Lord Gwyn and Queen of Sunlight, since the day Father his wounded obscureth, I have awaited thee. I bequeath the Lord vessel to thee.
Well, alright then.
And now, thank God, we can warp. Woohoo! No more backtracking. For the most part, we can't warp between all bonfires, which is, again, something they fix in the second game. And I am so thankful for that, but it is so nice to just be able to warp.
Yes.
They kind of pick, like, the biggest, most important bonfires that you can warp to.
It works for the most part.
For the most part. You'll see how it doesn't really work for me, because I kind of go out of order in where I want to go. Okay, she already said this. Yep, mm-hmm. Yeah, uh-huh.
Arduous test of mental, yea, it shall be. Indeed, we had felt the warmth of fire, its radiance and the life it sustaineth. Without fire, all shall be a frigid and frightful dark.
That doesn't sound pleasant.
Well, it's light and dark, so that makes sense. But we've actually got a covenant here. The Princess Guard. And to be completely honest, I think it's pointless, and I have no idea why it's here. I can't even remember what it does. I think it's PvP?
It's anybody that kills Guinevere, right?
Maybe? I'm not entirely sure, because there are other covenants that handle PvP, and this one just kind of seems like the one that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, lady, bye.
Whatever. I'm out.
But we aren't done with this area. Got one last thing to do. So you can see our list of warp places are kind of small.
They get the job done.
And unfortunately, we can't warp back to the other bonfire that had Solaire. And that's kind of the one I want to be at right now. But for what needs to be done right now, it doesn't really matter. But if you'll remember, we actually, before we saw Solaire's summon sign, we saw that the black eye orb was vibrating.
Yes.
So now we can go finally get the Firekeeper's killer.
Who could it be?
So this item actually emulates one of the other covenants, but this is a one-time thing. So it kind of gives us a little taste.
Of being purple.
You cannot use any healing items except for humanity, so you need to be pretty careful. But of course, it's Lautrec.
Of course.
Wonderful, thank you. And he's got 2 friends.
What a jerk.
Friend on the right has a pretty good ranged weapon in that he charges at you constantly. And the other one's a magician.
Yeah. And then there's Lautrec.
Lautrec's not fun because his 2 shodels there can go past your shield and hit you directly. And his feet are glowing.
Yeah, well, you know.
So he's got like one of those children's shoes that lights up whenever he steps.
Skechers.
So they want him to be stuck so they can handle a few fireballs. And thankfully the guy with the spear took full force hits each time.
It works. But now Lautrec has something to say.
Oh no, he already said stuff. He's done talking. So it's kind of cheap, but I like to use these stairs because they funnel up one at a time.
And they constantly get stuck.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I'll take that hit, even though it's not what I wanted.
Wizard just stepped back and let Lautrec take that one.
I think the funny part is that the mage here, if you get too close, he just tries to punch you.
Mm-hmm.
Come here.
Oh, that hurt.
Come here. So there we go. Bye-bye, mage. Killed your friend. Where is... Oh, you did!
Oh no!
Oh my god.
He got so angry he started punching.
And now he's dead. Fuck him. So glad I got that hit in.
It was worth it.
So we get the Firekeeper soul back, and we get Lautrec's ring. That's pretty nice.
It's a good ring.
You know what's better than his ring, though?
His armor?
Yeah, if only we could get that.
Yeah.
But look at all this destruction. How's this place even standing?
Big elevator time.
Yeah, for a fatty like me.
Well, yeah. You're gonna be the next Smoo.
I need a big hammer, though.
True.
And I need a lady voice.
Also true.
But Dark Souls is very forgiving, and they actually give us Lautrec's armor.
Oh.
It's pretty good armor, I'd say, for its weight. It's got pretty good protection.
Mhm.
I don't like to use it so much, because there's better stuff out there, but for style, there isn't too much better.
It's true. He does have nice looking armor.
But with that, now we're done with Anor Londo.
Okay.
It was nice while it lasted.
Well, you say nice.
I didn't die, did I?
Not that I know of.
Oh, hello.
Oh, Onion Head.
But we... Oh, he's gone.
Oh. Good riddance to bad rubbish.
But you can choose to use the Firekeeper Soul for yourself, or you can return it.
Save the lady.
It is so much better to have Firelink fire than to have another
you.
Estus improvement,
I am
True.
Anastasia. of
because
the
you'll be
story.
back here a ton.
Now I can continue my duty as a keeper.
In your cage.
But I only hope that my impure tongue does not offend.
No need to worry about that. I'm a
Forgive
dragon.
me. I am impure. My tongue never intended for restoration. Please, if you have any heart, leave me be.
Okay,
I
making
wish to
friends,
speak.
liking it.
Oh. Well, you do have a dragon face.
Yeah, is it the dragon face?
I think it's the dragon face.
I think that drives the ladies away,
It probably does a little bit.
and some of the men too.
All the men.
But we got our bonfire back, thank God.
It's good to have.
It's good to be back.